Hello and welcome to this Warno 1v1 game played on Black Forest Duel between 20th Polish, played by I am GouL, and he's going up against 9th US, played by the TeethThief. So we'll cover the deck reviews, then we'll talk about the map, the matchup, the deployments, and the game. And as always, timestamps in the description. So this is the deck review for TeethThief, and he's playing 9th US. It's a strong division, but we don't see it recently because it came out with North Ag and lots of DLCs come out since then, so you don't see it so often. But yeah, it's a strong division, so we'll go through it tab by tab. First things first, you can get away with not having 3 cards of supply if you always switch off the fuel on your supply. So as soon as the supply comes in, you switch off the fuel, and then that means you can get rid of, one of these, whichever one you want. This can be quite cumbersome because you only get 300 supply for 20 points, but then this you can't really get up to the front lines, so you would have to use this to resupply that, and if you can't be bothered doing that, then just bring these two. And if you can't be bothered switching off the fuel on every supply, then bring 3 supply cards. But you can get away with 2 on this division. You don't have a huge amount of stuff you have to resupply constantly. So you're not spamming out many arty or whatever. So there you go. Now you got 4 extra AP. Yes, MMG team's very strong. If you, what you can do is in this division is bring the grenade launcher instead. The grenade launcher is better. It's just not every div gets the grenade launcher. But the MMGs are very costly. Like you see, the MMG is a lot cheaper, so you can bring the MMG if you want, and you've got grenade launchers on these anyway. It's just so if you think about, there's one case like so on urban front lines, because grenade launchers ignore building cover, even though it doesn't say it on the weapon, it does, whereas the machine gun doesn't. And so in urban environments, the grenade launcher just kills stuff really quickly. So on urban front lines, and if you think about those buildings in the middle, the grenade launcher can shoot from one building across that middle zone to the other buildings, those high rises. The MMGs can't because they don't have the range. So when I get the choice between MMGs and grenade launchers, like either one can work. And yeah, if you find you're not buying all of these, just upvet it once. In terms of CVs, we've got 3, 6, 8 CVs. So what you can do, right, because this comes in a car, so this is a fast CV, what you can do is swap this out for the 40 pointer. I actually did a guide on this on the channel, which I should try and show you. It's called "You Need to Bring These Cheap Units." So if we just... the 40-point CVs are really good, just watch that for a full explanation as to why. Basically you can get 2 out for the price of this. And even though they're slower, you're going to cap the points pretty fast as a result. In terms of the CV choice in the Inf tab, this has 3 availability, so it's just better. And it's got a nice HP, right? 6 HP. It is, these guys have smoke, which is nice, but they're only 2 availability. Then light rifles, dragon spam, yes, pretty common. With the grenade launchers, and then the light rifles law, yes. So what I will say, because we've got these AP spare, you need to bring MP Patrol M67 with the military police vehicle. Because not only are these guys funny because of the recoilless rifle doing all the... making that wah whoosh sound. That's the sound it makes, it goes wah whoosh. Anyway, very good piece of kit. The point is the military police vehicle, which doesn't auto-sell because it's got a... It's apparently a coaxial. Anyway, it doesn't auto-sell because it's got a gun on it. You click that, Shift F, click on these National Guard M60s, and it'll follow your M60s around, giving you... removing the reservist trait, basically. So I do believe that's very important. The Flash, so you can either go for the Flash or the regular engineers. Flash can work, it's just you got to make sure that there's always another squad with them, because you're going to shoot all the Flash and then run off and resupply. Because you've only got 5 HP, whereas the engineers, you don't have to worry about them so much. But you've got plenty of regular infantry here that you can bring with the Flash, so as long as your micro is good, the Flash is good. In terms of the transport options, it's whatever you want, if you want the gun or if you want to sell it. And then yes, Ito and To 2A, having both can make sense, because the problem with the NG To is that it's only 16 AP. Like, this is really bad for 8 availability and only 16 AP. 45% accuracy. It should be 9, really, like 9.6 or something. But yeah, the dragon can fire in the forests, by the way. But yeah, the To 2 mixed with the Ito. This will two-shot TATBV, whereas a regular one won't because of the tandem. Arty, so I think this is all good. You can bring this because of the guidance, so it's actually really good, and you can like bring 2 of those up vetted or whatever, but you got to move them after they shoot, and that's a pain in the neck. So if you want to just, there's nothing wrong with just bringing this. We've got 2 AP spare. We could do this, for example. But yeah, the National Guard thing doesn't really matter for these, because even though it reduces the accuracy by 5%, that doesn't apply to artillery dispersion. And so yeah, between the mortars, this one goes further, so that makes smoking a bit easier, but this one aims faster and you get more and it's cheaper, so... And then the Coffin launcher you do need to bring. You do need to bring the Coffin launcher, it's very, very funny. Great, you're just clearing out infantry and towns. You can even lob it at armor, it won't kill it, but it'll suppress the crap out of it. It's very funny. Really good piece of kit. Tank, so this is quite normal, although I'm quite surprised there's no Humvee Tow 2, because what happens when you run out of these? But, you know, you could say, well, there's 8 ATGMs here, and plus another 10 sort of short-range ones, so maybe you don't need it. Maybe you don't need it. And there's 3 more here, right, so... Anyway, yeah, M60's National Guard, M60 National Guard, M60 CV, that's very normal. Recon, so yeah, you want the sniper and you want it in this because it goes at 120. The 50 cal's absurd. This is a very underpriced unit, basically. And then scouts and the grenade launcher Humvee, that's also great. And yeah, the TOW 2 1 goes at 120, and it's got good stealth and it fires TOW 2s. This thing is like a no-brainer because this only has Hydras, but it's exceptional optics. But this has 4 availability, and it's got the better gun on it. It's a lot better than the minigun. I mean, it's 10 points more, but I think it's worth it. And then, yeah, the drone can be useful as well to spot targets. Because of the sniper and the scouts, that kind of synergizes well with this thing. Right, so you could do this, it's just, you gotta micro them constantly after they shoot, and it is a pain in the neck. So if you just can't be bothered with that, then yeah, go for, you know, the M109s. AA, so you don't need... Basically, you need the VADs. The VADs is your this is your anti-infantry. It's really good against infantry. It's very, very funny. And then, yeah, you don't need more than, you know, 5 Avengers. And yeah, the Stinger you can upvet if you want. Helis, so the Hog carries 76 rockets, whereas the Tow Cobra carries... this just used to be called Cobra, and they renamed it to Hog, and it's just the same, but with different loadout. Anyway, this only carries 14, so against... You want 1 of each, so you should want... whatever. This is much better against infantry, this is much better against vehicles. AA, so yes, having a full air tab is very normal with this div. This has a 6-minute reload, don't bring it. This has a 3-minute reload, you don't really want it. This has a 4-minute reload, but it's got big bullet. And, like, you know, you can put this, I mean, the reloads are so high, there's no point. If you want to shoot infantry, just use this and just shoot it with the gun. Just strafe it with the guns, or just drop this on them and bring a Hog in. So yeah, this is good. You want the Seed, you want the AT, you want the Clustered 2, simply because you know, it's this is just not very good because the bombs are so small. And yes, the Eagles, the double Eagle. Switching to his opponent's deck, we've got what was he called, GouL, playing 20th Polish, which is so both of these divs are high tier. 20th Polish is, in my opinion, the 2nd best division in the game. 2nd Panzer is the best division. So we'll go through it tab by tab. You can sort of get away with 2 cards of supply, right? But whatever. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 CVs is just silly, really. So you don't need 10 CVs. The arty, you don't really want 3 danners. Like, you want some mortars for smoke, basically. And you bring this in the Scott because this is super fast, right? And you just load it up and it doesn't get killed by counter battery because it's armoured. So yeah, you want some mortars for smoke. And then, so like the BMP2 should be at 1 vet. BMP2s aren't that great anymore because the price has gone up and the autocannon's got nerfed. The real one you want is the BMP1 because this is 30 points for ATGMs and stuff, and so you can, like, you know, that's, you can get 3 of these a minute, that sort of thing. So that's pretty useful. Probably don't need 3 cards of sappers, right? The Reese is cool. And then it's like, do I pay 5 points more to get a KPVT instead of a Dushka? I mean, it's up to you whether or not you think that's worth it. I'm still undecided, frankly. But yeah, get rid of that. And then you can get an MMG team, very useful, right? You really want your line infantry at 1 vet. The ATGMs you should have at no vet. This can come at 1 vet if you want. But yeah, I mean, so it's nice to have infantry in a truck in case you get, you know, you got to rush guys in, but you actually have 2 sets of infantry in a truck here. So I would just bring more BWP ones, frankly. Yeah. RT we spoke about. Tanks, so the tank should be at 1 vet. This is a bit silly, really. Then get the T55A at 2 vets, so you can get those out at the start. No Wilk is quite surprising, because in the late game you sort of want to transition into the Wilk. So you can get rid of the T72M, because it dies in 1 hit to a 30 AP missile. Although this is 40 points more. It's got smoke, though. That's crazy, actually. That's a lot more points. But the 2 armor and the smoke is very important, actually. Because it means you don't die in 1 hit to a 30 AP missile. Anyway, you want the Wilk for the late game, because it's got a max range gun and stuff, right? Yeah. Recon, so I think these used to be 6 availability, now they're 4. Which can be... Oh yeah, so this is a 1 point slot, right? So just down vet that, get rid of that. Now you still got 2 danners, just put a CV next to it if you want more danners. Yeah, you can bring the small one if you want instead of one of these. And that allows you to get the B... this thing. That's for your tanks, so your tanks can see it's got exceptional optics, so you follow the tanks around with it. You can do the Shift F thing and click on it, but sometimes it will push your tank because it's following it so closely, and then your tank won't be able to smoke in time and it'll die, so I have stopped doing that as a result of that. But anyway, you just keep it with your tanks, and you can do the Shift F thing if you want, and it gives you tanks optics so they can actually see. It's very important. Yeah, you can bring the Sapper one if you want, but yeah, basically these used to be 6 availability, so you'd just no-brainer up-vet it, and then they're super mega ultra fast at the start of the game. You can still do that, because like these you get 4 of them. And honestly, I'd be bringing it in the Honkaris, because of the special forces, like the DPS on this is huge, and it will go a lot faster, even though this says 75 versus 85. Special forces get 20% speed at 2 vet, 30% speed at 3 vet, so... And yeah, so then these 2 at the start will be your super mega ultra fast guys, right? And you only really need them at the start, and you only really need 2 to get their super mega ultra fast, so if you want to get their regular fast, use these. And they're just there to buy time for everybody else to show up. This can be nice on the defensive, because this has mediocre stealth, so it can just lob Maryukas at people. It's quite annoying for people to deal with. And this has more damage than an autocannon with its 4 PKTs for just no good reason, but it is worse against vehicles. I wouldn't... Right, so down vet that. So you still got 4 cubs, up vet that, and then... you know, I like having man-pads personally, but basically you want to shoot bad guys with this, so it kills infantry, right? This is super good against infantry. And so you want this. Now, you can upvet it if you want. But honestly, you should just be buying 9 over the course of the game because they are stupid. They're still stupid. They got nerfed. They do half damage now, and they're still OP. This thing is, yeah, whatever. And this is at 2vex. It makes the autocannon absolutely shred people. Look at that. It basically doubles the damage. Air. So the air tab is a bit underwhelming here. And that's a result of the absolutely stacked tank tab and the stacked inf tab, right? And I suppose that's a 2-pointer. So yeah, sacrifices have to be made somewhere. I personally prefer this rocket plane to this HE because, like, this probably won't just kill a full HP squad, but it reloads in 16 seconds. It's got 30% ECM. It's got 10 HP. This has 8 HP, so it'll die in 1 hit to a cub, and it reloads in 2 minutes, and it's got 10% ECM. So, and this is 5 points more. So I feel like it's a no-brainer. You could also bring this one, but I mean, sort of same reason really. And yeah, in terms of the planes, like this one's better because this is sack loss. So yeah, this one's better because it could just dive helos and kill them. It's fire and forget. So I prefer this one because it's better against helicopters. If you want to kill planes, just wait for them to fly into your cubs and your Strellas. So that's it for the deck review. Now we'll talk about the map, the matchup, the deployments of the game, and as always, timestamps in the description. Right, so with that out of the way, Black Forest, basically, if you are a heavily armoured div, you want to be on this side, because you can push into Foxtrot quite easily. And if you are a... Actually, what? If you're a light div... I mean, either way, pushing into Foxtrot's quite easy compared to pushing into Charlie. Although that's because people generally don't try. You can make it. It just takes a while, and you can send stuff around to cut the reinforcements. Who knows? Basically, red side's typically seen as the better side because you can, like, you can rush into Bravo, and the enemy can't rush into Alpha just because of this road. You can get in super fast. He's not doing it there. In terms of the matchup, 20th Polish is, in my opinion, the second best division in the game in 1v1. And 9th US is like, I don't know, like 10th or something. So they're still good divs, both good divs. Let's have a look at the deployments. So as you'll know from the deck review, which you didn't skip, this guy doesn't max vet his honkers, and these guys aren't in honkers, so his deployment's quite weak compared to what it should be. Because if this was a max vet Ros Specialny honker, he'd just get in here first. And then he could just blow stuff up and get the tanks in. And, you know, basically the red side is generally seen as the better side because of the rush into Bravo. But if you can't rush into Bravo, then you end up losing Foxtrot quite easily. I don't know, it depends really. I lose a lot on this map now. I used to win all the time. Anyway. On the left, we've got some ground surveillance radar going to the church so we can see further than atheists. And behind that, we've got 3 infantry, 1 blocking here, 1 blocking here, 1 blocking here, and then 3 saperzi for the town, which is... It's quite rare to see people just YOLO into Alpha at the start. I mean, it does happen. T-55 AS Coffin launcher. Both divs get Coffin launchers, which is quite rare. We'll talk about that more during the game. Hopefully we get to see it fire. Ground surveillance radar here, so we can see down there. My Ukraine Strela. Another recon going to there. I mean, typically what you want to do is send somebody to here, and if you can't get there, send them here. But you should be able to get here because 9th US doesn't have airborne forward deployment, apart from the snipers, which you should just be able to run at him and kill him, basically. Although you got to be fast. If you're out in the open versus this 50 cal, it kills you. It's pretty crazy. He's got Barrett 50 cal off Modern Warfare 2, and he's got stopping power as well. Commando Pro, and sorry, so infantry there, unspeakable one here. There's a lot here. I mean, you want one here as well, basically. Although we'll see if that's still to happen. Sappers, Mayuka to there. This is a nice spot, you know, because it can shoot down there. T55A there, which... because it's not got the range, really. So you want an ATGM there instead, really. And a CV. Switching to his opponent's deployment, we've got 9th US. In general, right, basically, I think the 20th Polish player is kind of doing the right thing. So what you do against 9th US is you just open relatively conservatively, and you just play for the late game, because you just slowly kill all his dumb meme mobile units, and then you should just be able to push him late game. But if you lose too many trades, you just kind of lose the game. Like if the TOW2s kill too much of your stuff, if the snipers kill too much of your stuff, you gotta keep in mind 9th US gets a really nice air tab as well, so you gotta get the Cubs up. And yeah, if you play too fast into 9th US, you tend to lose, so I think his strategy is pretty decent. His opponent is opening with 3 recon helos, the Skiffix strat. One to look at the left, one to look at mid, and one to look at the right. Then he's got 3 snipers, one for here, one for here, one for here, and then he's sending the vehicle all the way down there, which is pretty funny. Not sure why he's using a fast move order, but yeah, whatever. You'll notice he's had to shift queue all these up, and that's because if you use a fast move order from here to here, it'll come out and go on the road. So if you just hold shift and then you know, use an attack move order from here to here, or just a regular move order, then you won't have to do 2 clicks. But I mean, obviously it's not a big deal, but just a way to get a bit of efficiency. This is very intelligent 9th US gameplay. This is what you want to see, really. So this thing goes at 100 kilometers an hour off-road, which means it'll go at 75 kilometers an hour. I believe it's 3/4 speed in the forests. Because, yeah, if it's 24, it goes down to 18, which is 6, and yeah. So I believe it'll go at 75 kilometers an hour through the forest. We can get that behind. What you can do as well is send an Avenger with it, because it tends to be you kill something, and then they send a helo, and then you kill it with the... But that's, you know, that's another 100 points or whatever. Another TOW2 to here. Then we've got 762, Stinger, Ito, Dragon, Humvee. On the right, we got Stinger and the Dragon. And then we got TOW2 going all the way around on the right. Yes, very good. This is what you want to be doing as 9th US, really. So let's see how that goes. Right, so they're off, and it's time for me to thank the generous channel joiners. Generously joining the channel, they get their names on the screen, they get the videos early, they get members exclusive videos. One join at the lowest level is worth 2,000 views, so if you're feeling bad about your ad block, it's a great way to support the channel. This is my sole source of income, which is why I shill like my life depends on it. And yeah, he bought an Eagle as well, obviously we didn't know about that. So that's, I guess, to keep the helos alive. And to keep the forward deployment alive, because those snipers are very vulnerable to an early game heli attack, because they're so much further in front of everything else, as you can see, and he doesn't get forward deployed AA, so I think it makes sense to open with an Eagle. What you can do is open with Eagle, one of these, and and that funny AT Pave Claw plane, and you just go killing everything with the Mavericks, but that's obviously a huge investment. So MiG-21 BIS AA has been sent out to shoot these, but as you'll know from the deck reviews, he picked the one that can't double shoot at helos. He picked the quote-unquote anti-plane one. So the Eagle should just eat this for breakfast. Keep in mind the... Oh, he could have landed that, really. He didn't have to lose it. What the fuck? Oh, Warno moment. Warno moment. Could you imagine if Age of Empires tournaments had this level of RNG? I mean, it's ridiculous. In Age of Empires, right, if they have like a tournament game and your gold spawns too far away from your base, they rehost it because, oh, that's RNG, it's not fair. Here, yeah, bro, my MiG-21 beats your Eagle in a fight. Oh dear. Can you believe we've had $1,000 tournaments for this game? I came 4th in that one. Anyway. So, this guy's probably very dead. I think the Cub's gonna kill him. He should run away, really, but... third time lucky, maybe. He upverts his Cubs as well. Huh, okay. America moment. There you go, he got his RNG back, you know, for before. Anyway, so in the deck review, we spoke about how he should bring the 40-point CV. And I have a guide on my channel about the 40-point CV. Here it is. Here it is. You gotta get the shilling going, right? Get the shilling going. There's the 40-point CV guide. And if he'd brought the 40-point CV instead of these Humvees, then he would have been able to cap Delta, Bravo, and Charlie by now. Instead, he has to buy another CV for a total of 160 points compared to 80. That could have been another one of these, right? Yeah. Anyway, looking pretty good for blue, because if red doesn't like rush in here, then blue, it's quite straightforward for blue to rush, well, not rush, attack Foxtrot, because they get this building and this building, and then they get all this, right? Then you fight it out over here, and you just kind of smoke the corner and just run in. Honestly, like, this part of the map, people barely play over. And I guess part of that is because the terrain is absolutely AIDS, because this is actually a hill. So there's lots of places where you just can't see them. And it is kind of hard to attack into here because they get this nice big tall building. And with the terrain being AIDS, like, you can't set somebody up in this forest to shoot those guys. You gotta come out into the open and get shot, right? And you can't really see what's going on here. And because of how weak this Foxtrot zone is for red is basically always forced to put a bunch of guys here. And because of how weak the Bravo is compared to Alpha, blue is always forced to put a bunch of guys here. And as a result, the game just ends up being over here a lot, which is pretty funny. So you see this FAV, you know, this is a 40-point supply. That's a 25-point vehicle, so he's already paid for himself. Problem he's got is that if this dies, then that'll be recaptured, so... but yeah, it was a good idea. The Stinger should be running away, really. He's given it an attack move order. Okay, he's noticed. This guy's running back through the fire. The Reese is pretty nice. Reese's pieces, as they say. The Stinger team certainly is in pieces, if there's anything left of him. There he is. Oh, he's gone. He's gone. Got burnt to death. Anyway, grenade launcher's pretty cool. It's just if this stops, then it can kill it. The thing is, it can't stop because it's in fire. So even if you press stop, he'll just immediately start moving. Oh, here we go. Coffin sounds. These things are really cool. And TeethTheif US gets that as well. This is making me want to play TeethTheif US. So many divisions in this game, honestly. I've got 3,000 hours in this game. I'm not bored. You know, I'm one of the best players in the game, but I'm not the best. And the guys who are better than me all generally have more hours. So, and they still make a lot of mistakes, right? So yeah, this usually you want to start off with the smoke first, because if you just sort of walk in, that basically always happens. And if it's not that, then it'll be the tank shooting you, and if it's not that, it'll be an artillery round. So you want the self-propelled smoke mortar, and yeah. He's just doing it again. He's not learned his lesson, so hopefully this one dies as well. As a learning experience, right? I'm big on learning. I wouldn't make a very good teacher. I think I'd probably get done for I call it child abuse or whatever. Because you know the kids, they gotta learn, man. They gotta learn. Anyway, you see the power of the grenade launcher. Because yeah, infantry gets damage reduction in forests, but not against grenade launchers. But the grenade launchers in this game are really weird, man. They go ploop, ploop, ploop. Like, they actually do a lot of damage, but it would be cool if they made it do like 1/5 the damage, but made it fire 5 times the rounds. Because I don't know if you've actually seen these things fire in real life. They do not go ploop, ploop, ploop. Anyway, we spoke about this in the deck review as well. I think him bringing the MiG-21 BIS instead of the rocket one is a big mistake. Yeah, the Eagle cleans that up. But you see the Coffin launcher's doing quite well here, right? Blue, once again, just sort of feeding his CVs. But look at that, 50 cal, Mom, get the camera. Bang! Well, I guess one. Quick scoped, no scoped. Get the camera. Anyway, so yeah. What can I say? It's not going so great for blue at the moment. I mean, he sort of messed up a bit by not putting anybody in here. So these M60s could be repathed. These guys, like this, could be loaded back in there, and these guys could all be swung around to here. That's a very good idea. And then you know, set up in here and stop this from happening. But, you know, 20th Polish, it's got the tools. It's got everything a growing boy needs to win ranked games, and that's why it's the second best division in the game. The best is 2nd Panzer, which is, it's the same, except it's also got air spam. So... oh, wow. But yeah, generally, if you're searching ranked, right? Because in tournaments, like, you can get any div to work. So I was, if the pick and the counter pick are right. So somebody counter picked me by playing 6th US, and I saw somebody complaining about 6th US today, and they were like, "It's a clown div, slop div." Well, I got knocked out of the biggest tournament in Warno in terms of attendance, which is the Warno SDL League. I got into the top 8 in Division 1, and I got knocked out by a guy playing 6th US, right? So, you know, I finished somewhere between 8th and 4th. Probably more closer towards 8th, but I lost to 6th US. So, you know, the divs can work as counterpicks, but when you're playing ranked, good HE bomber coming in here. But, very intelligently, the TeethThief, who has picked this name, presumably to try and, you know, mess up my alliteration. What do they call it? A tongue twister. My tongue is not twisted, I can say. The TeethThief. Mainly because of my retarded accent. But you see the power of these Coffin launchers, man. They're just killing everything. The thing is, 9th US gets one of those as well. He should really buy it instead of this. Should really be a Coffin launcher back here, because he could just do the same. But yeah, very powerful gaming from the 20th Polish player. I was making a point. Anyway, what you want in 1v1 ranked, because you don't know what the enemy div's going to be, you don't know what the map is, you don't know what the side is. So what you want in 1v1 ranked is divisions which are good at everything, because then, you know, you're just always in a situation where you can win. It's also great in 1v1 to have that, because it means that if something isn't... Because, like, you know, this is like, okay, so let's say you're in a forest combat here, it's not working out. Or you're in a town combat here, it's not working out. Well, then you can just swing over and come play in the open. Whereas if you're playing as some divs, like 9th US isn't that good offensively in the open. It's good defensively because it gets these meme machines that fire 2,800 meters. But offensively, because these aren't good on the offense because, you know, they die easy. The idea is they've got good stealth, they shoot from a defensive position. Tanks are good on the offense because they can take a hit and, you know, walk into people and shoot them. He's doing it again. 3rd time lucky. Where's the smoke? Anyway. And 9th US's tanks are not very powerful. So if there was a T... So, I mean... I wonder what will happen. Do you know what I mean? This is where the smoke mortars come in. One smoke mortar. You've got self-propelled smoke mortars. You just smoke the corner, right? And you do it from as far away as you can. Or, well, a medium distance, so you get nice smoke coverage. That's a good side shot, though. He got it with the Dragon 2. And then they don't know exactly where it is in the smoke. And then you don't die, right? Anyway. I was making a point. So, GouL has managed to take mid here. But the TeethThief did manage to push him out. Now, a lot of that is because GouL has just left a bunch of his stuff around not doing anything, and he neglected to bring AA with his push. So the Toe Cobras came and they killed everything. Now, you see the M60s should beat T55s, but at close range the T55s trade very favourably. The one T72 would just kill these 100% of the time. The Avengers, right, they get this 50 cal, which is actually better than a regular 50 cal. It's just like way better than a regular 50 cal because it's got higher accuracy and it like shoots faster or something. And so they're actually really good against infantry. Obviously, you don't want to be doing that. What is that? That's an MMG. I'm trying to find one that's a 50 cal. There's one. So regular 50 cal, right? 25% accuracy, 0.3 HE, 1.8 second reload. Whereas this Avenger is going to die quick. No, I can't read the thing. 30% accuracy, although it is up there. Cluster 2 coming in. Well, that's gonna get. Wow, that was a really good hit actually. And the Cub's too far away. Like, what's this doing here? This one, the reload time's like half. The accuracy is a bit more, but I think that's because of the vet. Also, the bullets do more damage. So this does 0.3 with 28 suppression, and the same bullet coming out of this thing, the Power of Friendship, does 0.36 with 25 suppression. So it actually does less suppression but more damage. But look, aim time, reload time. The reload time is basically half, and the extra rank of vet isn't what's doing that. It'll be doing a bit. Anyway, it's got CV in, right? Now you need to move it, because this slowly expanding circle can be seen by the enemy. And all they gotta do is get the noggin jogging, and then they'll know the beginning of the circle is where your guy is, and then the Dana should blow it up. Anyway, it's going pretty well for blue now. Red's been pushed out. That cluster 2 strike was really nice, actually. It got 2 tanks, and I think they were the ASs, so they're very expensive because of the Coffin launcher attachment. But yeah, look how powerful these are. And they got the CV as well. And blue's got a guy up to here, which means that red can't use this road anymore. And he's got a guy up to here. The guy over here, I guess he killed 4 people and then ran out of ammo. Red's not really noticed. And he's got in this zone. Now, the main problem he's got is that he just keeps throwing his CVs in to die, which isn't the best thing ever. And if he just used a bit of the old smoke... You see this Avenger again going ham with this upgraded 50 cal. The bullets do more damage. And, the Barrett get the camera, right? Interesting. So when this stops, it does 5 times damage. I didn't realise that actually displays on the stat card now. Didn't used to do that. But yeah, you see the power of the Coffin launchers. Like, basically once a minute you can kill an infantry unit. Sometimes you don't fully kill it, but it's close range artillery, right? It should just not die to the enemy ever, because you shoot, you move, you are a tank, so you can take a hit anyway, but the idea is you're firing indirectly. Anyway, the Avenger at 2 vet misses twice. The thing is, right, it's got perfect stabilizer, so yeah, you can sort of just right-click into people and... yeah. Anyway, these guys need to come over. The light rifles are really good infantry, because they've got a DMR and 2 machine guns. A DMR is like 2 machine guns in terms of suppression. So look, they've lost this much suppression, they've taken this much suppression, and they've fully suppressed 2 squads. I'll admit, these are no vet, which is a huge mistake. But yeah, like 4 machine guns, which is like 8 rifles, so 8 plus 6 is 14, quick maths. And this is 8 shooty power versus 14. Obviously, you're paying for it, right? But yeah, you don't want to bring your infantry at no vet. Particularly the Reeses, because they reload it once every 8 seconds. But yeah, look, the Coffin launcher's back at it again. Another one, another one, another one. Always so much fun to use those. Always so difficult to deal with them on the receiving end. I'll admit, his airstrike that killed 2 of them, that was actually a really good idea. Because if you fire artillery at it, it generally just moves after it shoots, and it's a tank, so it's not actually that easy to arty to begin with. Yeah, so blue on the +2, and if he wanted, he could even attack down here, because that's another thing you can do is, so you'll notice this guy actually did get here, but this must have just gone past him. So, seeds out the Strzelala, which is Polish for washing line. No, that's Zilka, never mind. Anyway, the seed got way too aggressive there. I mean, I'm very surprised that survived. Okay, I was right. It did not survive. Basically, you don't want to just sort of fly over the whole map. You want to come in on one side and just, just poke it and come round. You don't want to fly into the middle, because then to get out, you got to turn left or right, which means you're exposing yourself to, a lot more stuff, or a lot more stuff. So you want to come in on one side and just keel it round, right? You want to minimize your exposure time, basically. You don't want to just fling it over the enemy, unless your plan is to reveal enemy AA positions, because you've got 3 more bombers behind that are just going to blow up all the AA positions that are shooting you. Even then, you want to play it safe. Yeah, what I would love to see from the 9th US player is the M60 AVLM, the 9th US Coffin launcher, because I'm quite surprised he's not noticing how effective his enemies' coffin launchers are and thinking, oh, I should use my own coffin launchers. This seems to be working very well. Because, imagine, because if it's back here, well, you're just going to kill all this, right? One here, you're going to get a lot of stuff there. Anyway, these Cook Vs are very strong because they fire at 2,800 meters. And, yeah, the Hellfire, 24 pen. The main thing is, it's super fast and it has a 2 salvo length. Good artillery coordination there from GouL. And the TeethThief is going to lose yet another CV in this zone. Looks like he might get out, actually. Okay, it is what it is. I'm very surprised that survived. It's not very fast, right? Anyway, he's not using this either. He should be blowing this up. So Cluster 2 comes out with Seed behind. Typically... Well, I don't know, it depends. Sometimes, if you actually want to kill the AA, the Seed should be behind. Unless you're going to use the Cluster 2 to kill the AA. It's variable, right? Obviously, there's just too much AA there for that to work. If you're doing just like a suicidal one-way trip, like in that specific case, having the Seed out in front would be better because you're probably going to lose a plane, and losing the bombers worse than losing the Seed, because the whole purpose of the Seed is to enable the bombers. So, if you trade one Seed for one bomber, it makes sense because that's its job. It's done its job, just keeping your bombers alive. Also, it's got higher ECM because it's Seed, so it's actually more likely to survive than the bomber is. But a lot of players, so against very good players, if you send the Seed out in front, the enemy AA will be switched off and it won't hit anything. So you got to send it out behind, so that while the AA is engaging your front plane, the Seed is behind. The Seed engages, right? What I do like is him using the arty on the AA positions. I think that's very intelligent. And GouL should move all his AA after it shoots. Really great habit to get into. It is a bit of a pain in the neck. You got to move 6 units every time they fire, right, or whatever. This guy's still doing his absolute best to get himself killed. Will he make it out this time? Oh, that one's coming in pretty close. Right, well, another lesson learned. Do not engage people with your tank CV while it is at 1 HP. Anyway, T-72's out now, and the M60s are going to struggle against that, although it's got no cohesion, and yeah, if it was full HP that'd be a different story, but that's not what happened there. He doesn't bring the... What? Okay. He doesn't bring the... So in real life, the whole purpose of Seed missiles is that they outrange enemy AA. That's not how it works in Warno, I'm afraid. I can't remember what I was saying, I'm sure it wasn't important. Anyway, so the RT should move after it shoots, and you should put, this CV is... Obviously this zone is about to be contested, so I guess, it's whatever. But yeah, the other thing you could do with 9th US is switch it up and attack somewhere else, and we do see that happening here. This Light Rifles Dragon's going to get some very juicy kills here. Either a Cub at 2 there, so that's been upved by a CV, or a CV, or an empty supply vehicle. We'll see which one he chooses. Guy's tagged him with a help beacon. Anyway, you can hide in more places than this, right? You can just put it behind here. Put it behind here, maybe. Put it behind here. Put it behind this one. Put it in between these two, that's another popular spot. Actually, it's a less popular spot. The issue is, obviously, if the enemy's up to here, then they will see that. Anyway, the dragon came in, I missed it, but you see the kills here, it got the kills. And blue's in the zone, and this is exactly where red does not want blue to be. This is the hardest place for red to clean blue out of, is this town here. So red, he gets a CV in, it gets whacked because it just comes in without any smoke cover. I don't know if I've mentioned smoke cover today. Because like, it's so realistic, bro. Don't be one of these people who's like, smoke is scummy. Shut the fuck up. Smoke is probably the most realistic part of this game. Whenever people attack, they use smoke because they don't want to get shot. Right? It makes sense. From every perspective, it makes sense. Apart from, basically, people don't like it because, you know, you buy an ATGM, you put it in a big open field, and you're like, great, I own this field now. And then some bozo shoots some smoke at you, and all of a sudden, you know, your expectations have been subverted. And people don't like that. They just want to win. Anyway, this was a very good maneuver from the 9th US player, because this makes sense. This is what 9th US is good at. Not sure what's going on here. He did have a recon helo here. I don't know what happened to it. Must have died. This also he could land, right, and heal it up. The ITO does end up going down there. There's a lot of RT, so it's 3 Danos. And basically, once you get in here, right, so the scouts needs to get to the church, because it can see further than atheists, and then you want an infantry here and an infantry here. And, you know, you sort of get into that, right? You can also put the Stinger up here. It's just if you've got 2 units up there, then they will die, right? Like, whatever you put up here is going to die if it starts shooting, because it's just such an obvious spot for RT to hit and so on. But yeah, you want to get this one to here, so because then you can shoot the people coming in, and you see he can see now. Like, he can see that CV, which is big. And so yeah, typically you want something here that's not going to shoot very much, because if it's a scout and it doesn't fire, then you can just leave it there for ages because the enemy can't see it. But if you start putting ATGMs and Stingers and, you know, MMGs up there, as soon as it starts shooting, people are going to RT it because it's the church, it's the obvious thing. And communists obviously hate religion, right, because it distracts them from the pursuit of material possessions. And so they're going to blow up the church, right? Anyway, you see the power of the light rifle's dragon here, although he should really be right-clicking the guy with the 1 HP so he can kill him first. Just making life hard for himself. Anyway, the Stinger, yeah, you can put it in the church temporarily, it's just then you got to move everything out of the church because you are going to get RT'd. And yeah, there's a lot of trades going on here. Like, Red's lost a lot here. Blue's losing big stuff to the Helo Swamp. But the Stinger, it's getting good kills. Like, it's hitting things, you know. It's vetted because it's near the CV. So it's got 1 vet. But yeah, you know, like, you could even... I know this might sound very strange, but you can actually just send the CV out to kill this and then send it back to hide. Like, that is a possibility. You have 4 laws. But yeah, sending the drone lets you see things, right? Because maybe you can't actually see this. Anyway, yeah, moving up these guys makes sense because their MGs can engage this healer. Something happened here. Big. So you know, obviously, like, 20th Polish still gets planes. It's just 2nd Panzergren gets more planes, right? In reference to the earlier conversation. So, looks like he's getting pushed out of there. Yeah, I mean, he's lost a lot of units, right? There are people coming, but something happened here as well, so he had to put more guys in here because he thought he might be getting attacked here. He had to send guys over here, right? That's what happened. I was saying it's bad on the offense, well, that's exactly, it's a great showcase, right? It's very expensive and not very well protected. The idea is its stealth is its armor. Its mobility is its armor. And, you know, it's got to be stood still for quite a while while that ATGM slowly gets into position, whereas you fire a tank round. Once that tank round's fired, like, you might have seen it before here, the BMP-1, it reversed behind this building, yeah, and it still died, right? And you can see, like, from there, this obviously can't see that. But as soon as that tank round fires, that's it. You cannot, you know, it's either going to miss you because it was going to miss you anyway, or it's going to hit you because it was going to hit you anyway, whereas an ATGM you can get out of the way of. It's just to do with the way the game's simulated, right? Because of, you know, like lag and stuff, otherwise it'd be very, very difficult to hit a laggy boy, right? Anyway, this guy probably needs to fall back another building before he dies. He's chosen death. And yeah, I mean, blues, they're on the +4, and honestly, with so that's empty, and you can't reinforce it because of this. With the Black Forest, so he does actually fall back. With Black Forest, it's very hard to get points, and so like red, you basically just need all three of these for the rest of the game to get those points, and that's probably not going to happen. So it's not looking great for him because there aren't many. Because like this is a +1, this is a +1, this is a +1, this is a +1. There's two +2s back here. There just aren't that many points on this map. So if you fall behind on Black Forest, it's kind of Jova. If you fall too far behind, it's very, very hard to catch up. Yeah. So, blue, he's like, red's actually just sort of ran out of stuff, really. I guess his aggressive attacks here eventually just got him killed. But it gets to a point in the game where, like, once you get a little bit far behind, that's when all the dying happens. It's sort of like IRL, bro, where is it like most soldiers die in the retreat? Generally, armies break after sustaining about 30% casualties. In terms of, like, a big battle. If it's slow attritional warfare, then I don't know, but because you rotate people in and out. But like in a battle, if about 30% of the guys die and they can all see each other, the rest run away, and that's when most of them actually die. But you didn't know that. You probably did actually, because you're a military artist playing some game where there's all these beautiful units, beautiful scenery, and a beautiful skybox. But you play it out here to be as optimum as possible, and you can't see any of it. Is this cutting too close to the bone, dear viewer? Maybe I'm just describing myself. Do you even play the game? Anyway. So he's still got a couple of these HE bobbers left. And, like, he had these M60s all this time. The idea is that you sort of mix them in with your regular infantry, and they can do quite a lot. So you don't want just, like, 3 M60s here, right? Although you'll notice it's winning against this dedicated team. I mean, it's not in range, right? But the M60s, they're very powerful. The MMG teams are very, very powerful. You should be bringing them if you can. Particularly on inf divisions. Anyway, so we got some desperation plays here, trying to get a T-55A up here, but, I mean, that's not getting in, is it? It'll probably get side shot. Seed's trying to kill the helo, but it landed. And, but yeah, honestly, look up footage of this firing. It doesn't do that. It fires super fast. So they should just make it do 1/5 the damage, but fire 5 times the rounds. And then it would still do basically the same thing, but it would look cooler. Because I think it's very strange. But honestly, it's a positive that Warno has reached a state now where the only things I have left to complain about are things like that. It used to be like, half the divs in this game don't fucking work. Anyway, 9th US player takes the crown, or whatever. The TeethThief. Rank 218 with 229 games. I am GouL, rank 123. So there you go. This guy has 500 total games. This guy has 1,208. This guy won. That's the Hippie dividend right there. You watch Hippie YouTube videos, bam, you just win. You just win against better divisions. But yeah, 9th US is a lot of fun to play. I like the mobile divs. The only problem is, like, all the latest NATO divs have been light mobile divs, and it's like, it's not so unique anymore. That was that epic cluster strike. Killed 4 units, including 2 T-55 ASs and a CV, which is, these are very important targets. Or was it the same guy who came back later? Sasintha. Interesting name. Yeah, good kills there. Anyways, do let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next one. GG.